everybody, so I'm back today with another video for you all, and today's video is a response to one of the questions that I got from a mother asking how did I transition into college, as well as how did my mom take it as me transitioning to college. So I guess I'll let her begin on how she dealt with it and I guess what type of preparation she took.
There was no preparation, point blank. You raise a child for all your life, and then it's time for them to go off into the world. And I think the closer it got to Jasmine getting ready to leave to go to college, the worse it got. Leading all the way up until 2 weeks before, a week before, up until a couple of days before, I didn't even want to go get her settled in, just because I just knew it would be hard to leave her. So there is really no way to prepare. You just have to trust that how you've raised your child, that she will remember all of those things, because freshman year of college, that was something that she told me that we kind of prepared her for everything that was going to happen with the people and getting used to different attitudes and people's upbringings and stuff like that. How do you think you transitioned?
Like she said, I don't think there was anything we possibly could have done to prepare ourselves for what was about to happen. At first, like, when you graduate, you think of college and you're like, oh, so exciting, but like preparing to go, it was like the closer I was getting ready to move in, the harder it got. And I would have like crying spells where I was like, I really couldn't picture myself like not being there with my mom and like being on my own, because I always had my parents there in any situation. So to think that if I got in a situation at school they wouldn't be there, it was hard to what's the word? Adapt to.
I think when we initially dropped her off to college, we let her stay on campus. We got her settled in and stuff like that day, and you know, the move-in process was a little hectic just because, you know, people is just busy everywhere. We left her for the day so she could get used to her roommates and her surroundings and stuff like that, and we met back up with her the very next morning.
I didn't go anywhere. I stayed in my room. I didn't even have a roommate that day.
She was scared.
I was terrified to step outside of my room.
I don't know if somebody's gonna eat her or what, but she was scared. We met with her the next morning to have breakfast before we got back on the road to go. And honestly, it's just like the closer we got to like physically getting ready to leave her, it was knots in the stomach. My husband, which is her dad, he swore he was not gonna cry. He was like, you know, it's time for her to, you know, get out there and, you know, do her thing and stuff like that. Well, he left to go get the car because it was raining really bad that day. And me and my youngest daughter, we said our farewells. And the girl was crying so much. She had snot running all down her nose and everything, okay? And that hurt me to see that, you know, that was like, it was devastating for her to see us separate. I held my tears back until I got in the car, and then when I got in the car, that same man that said he wasn't gonna cry, he was in the car.
He was doing this.
No,
oh,
he was boo-hoo crying. He was wiping it from. He couldn't pull off immediately, and we all had a moment. And he held my hand, and he was like, "She gonna be all right. We just gotta trust in God that He's gonna watch over her." So that was a long 3-hour drive back from Savannah to Valdosta. So we adapted, and I think the first 3 weeks was probably the worst 3 weeks of
my life,
because we dropped her off like around August the 10th, and we went right back to get her like around September the 1st,
and I was getting ready to move out of the room I was originally in already,
and she just was having some separation anxiety.
Definitely.
So my husband, he went and picked her up that Friday, and she was just so happy to just be home for 2 days.
And there's actually a vlog on that on the channel as well. The one where Rocky's talking.
Yes,
and he
humorous.
said "F you."
Yeah, he
to
said,
me.
Yeah, he said that to Jasmine.
Yeah,
because he says she's such a But
for those who don't know, Rocky is my imaginary boyfriend, and we give him a voice, and it's like a family joke. So if you ever hear us go like, "Oh my God," that's Rocky's voice. That's not us. It's like a little joke. I know we probably look crazy, but it's a family thing, and we even got like our friends and doing it and stuff.
And my husband used to hate it, and so now we got him doing it. Rocky he sounds the worst when my husband do it. We make him sound goofy. James make him sound special.
Yeah, not to offend anyone.
Yes. But far as getting home, she came back home. She got to have a home cooked meal, and she did a vlog on it. How did all of us feel about her being home and stuff like that? And we was like, it's only been 3 weeks. It's only been 3 weeks, and I think that she needed that. I think her first year, you came home a whole lot more. So I was taking trips to Savannah like a little bit more often than I had intended to.
But what do you think helped the transition? I feel like all the phone calls, Skyping, Instagramming, it made it like she was there.
But then it was like special things that came up, like birthdays. Like we were there for her birthday, but then she couldn't be here for mine or her dad's and stuff like that. So that kind of affected her, but just always trying to keep her a part of what's going on at home. And we talk every day. I talk to her every day. She called me when she walked into class. She called me when she walked into the U. I mean, because she said she by herself. At least somebody can call 911 if she go missing. So we talk a lot. And I mean, we've always been close. However, I think
the older I'm getting,
the older she getting, the closer we're getting. I think,
and I'm getting to know a little bit more than I would like.
Such as
the conversation we had the other day. We're not gonna talk about on here.
No, we're not gonna talk about
because we might embarrass somebody.
Woo! Yes,
don't even start. No, let's sum this up. Okay, so what advice would you give a parent whose child is about to be an incoming freshman? What advice would you give them to prepare them, I guess?
I would say to make sure you keep communication open, and you have to allow them to be the adult that you have sent off into this world. Jasmine would have like things that she wanted to do and like she was unsure, but we allowed her to make those decisions on her own, because you don't learn unless you make a mistake. And I honestly can say she didn't have a lot of those type of situations her past 2 years of college. She pretty much was on the straight and narrow, and I think she did well. And I mean, she's getting ready to transition again, and she's going to a new school now, so I think this transition will be well too. I think we did a vlog on Instagram where she was packing up for sophomore year. And she was like,
and
she was like, oh, look at all my stuff I got. And I was like, girl, bye. It was just different the second year. And I just think she adapted well. And when she's doing well, it makes us feel like, a little bit more comfortable knowing that, she can think for herself. And she's not a follower. She definitely is a leader.
My advice that I would give all incoming freshmen who are like close with their parents as well. If you're not close with your parents, you're probably ready to go anyway, so it's probably not for you. But if you're close with your parent, I would say just spend as much time as you can with them over the break. Create that bond, I guess, because when you're in school, like, they're not gonna be there like they were when you were like in high school or whatever. Yeah. Especially when it comes to your work and stuff, you're not gonna have somebody saying, read that book,
or do your
study
homework.
for that test. Like,
I ain't never do that anyway.
Yeah, you did. But if your parent is like that, you're not gonna have them there. I don't know where I'm going with this anymore. But basically, you can't prepare yourself for this. It's just you gotta go with the flow in this situation, and that's all I can say.
And I think everybody's situation gonna be different.
Definitely.
So I hope we answered all your questions.
If you have more, comment them below, and we'll just make another video. And stay tuned for another video that I'll be posting really, really soon. And I think you guys will like it. So that sums up the child parent transition to college.
Let's just say parent daughter, because you know child.
But it could be dad son.
Okay.
That's what I was that's what I was saying. Parent child transition into college and how to deal with the process. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to thumbs it up, rate, comment, subscribe. Also, you can go ahead, while you're on your phone, and check me out on Instagram at Eclegnista Jr. And you can check out the headquarters at Eclegnista.
All right, it's been nice talking to you guys. Bye. Okay, now let's take some crazy pictures.
I hope that recorded the whole thing.
I hope the hell it did too, because I can't repeat
Oh, it was 11 minutes long.
that. Okay.